Welcome to part 2 of my eyeshadow palette collection. Part 1 was completely devoted to my Jeffree Star eyeshadow palette, so I went ahead and I kind of separated the two so that way this video wouldn't be 2 hours long. I'll drop that link down in the description box. I may put a card up here so you can see where that one is too in case you want to go ahead and check that one out. I have 31 palettes, so grab a drink, grab a snack, because this might take a while. Just a little disclaimer, this is a collection video, not necessarily collection and declutter. I've only been into makeup for about a year, so I haven't collected a whole lot of things. There are a few palettes in here that should I ever get to the point where I'm needing more storage or more space, I may pull those out, but for now, this is just a collection video more so than anything else. I figured the easiest way to do this would be to split all the palettes up by brand. ColourPop, I have the most palettes from. I have 10 here. There's one thing that we know about ColourPop, they tend to launch a whole lot of stuff kind of back to back. Of course, they've slowed down now, since the quarantine has been in place because they haven't really been able to ship anything. Kind of appreciate the slowdown. So when it comes to ColourPop, I'm really picky because I do tend to repeat color stories. So I want to make sure that I'm buying something that I really want to buy from them. The first 3 palettes I have are the Monochromatic Palettes. They have a bunch of them, but I only grabbed a few, just the ones that I know I could get some use out of. This one is the Just My Luck. It is the green Monochromatic palette. I really like this olive shade right here. That is one of my absolute favorite shades just to do kind of a smoky look with. So this is pretty for just, if you just kind of want to do an all over green eye look. I have another kind of a green palette here. This one is the Meant to Be. This one's kind of a cool toned green palette. This one I don't like as much as I liked the Just My Luck palette. I find that when you put this one on the eyelid, a lot of the shades look really, really close together. So it's hard to get any kind of real depth doing this palette, but it's a pretty one. The last palette that I have in their monochromatic collection is the Blue Moon palette. This is a blue based palette and this one is absolutely beautiful. I love this one for when I just want to do some cool icy type looks. There are some absolutely beautiful shimmers and metallics in this particular palette. These two were kind of launched together, the Nude Mood one and the blush. The Nude Moon is exactly what it is. It's just kind of a brownish nude kind of color story, and I absolutely love this one. This is a beautiful color story. This shade right here, Wink Wink, this is such a beautiful icy Super Shock eyeshadow. It is one of my absolute favorite shadows in all of my palettes. It's absolutely beautiful, and just what I want to do, just kind of a basic warm toned nude, everyday look. This one is really, really pretty for that. And then we have Blush Crush. These two, as I said, were launched together, so you could get them in one big bundle or you could get them in separate bundles. You can get the Blush Crush bundle by itself or the Nude Mood collection bundle by itself. So this one is like a really pretty kind of a pinky nude kind of going on. Very pretty for everyday pinky looks. Now this shade right here, this one is called Pop a Bottle. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a Super Shock formula similar to the Wink Wink shade in the nude one, but this one is just chunky and it's just not as smooth, and I don't really like this shade that much, but the palette as a whole I do like. It's really pretty. I just realized I actually have 9 palettes in the ColourPop collection. I was including one of the Sugar Pill palettes in this one because it's the same size as this one, so I was thinking it was one of those palettes, but it's not. I only have 9 ColourPop palettes. I don't know what it is today, but my lighting has just been like really off. But next we have the Yes Please palette. You guys know how much I love a coral base palette, and this one is just absolutely beautiful. The only shade in this one I have a hard time with is Chauffeur. Let me know, guys, if you have this palette and if this shade gives you any trouble too. From the second I got this palette, this shade was very hard panned. I tried using a brush, I tried using a finger, I tried wetting a brush. I could not get anything out of this pan. I don't know if that's just the way it's made or if I just happen to get a bad shade, but like I said, let me know if you have this palette and how the shade performed for you. I have 3 more palettes in the ColourPop collection. This one is Sweet Talk. Sweet Talk is just a really pretty kind of a spring coral peachy palette. This one is more peach than the Yes Talk. These 2 shades right here are my absolute favorite mattes in this palette, and I absolutely love this shimmer. The only 2 shades in this palette I'm just not too fond of are these 2, and they're pressed glitters. You guys know how I feel about pressed glitters, but other than that, it's an absolutely beautiful palette. Last, I have 2 palettes from the Disney collection. I have the Misunderstood palette, which is the villains, and then the It's a Princess Thing, which is a princess theme palette. The Misunderstood one, obviously, it's villains themed. It's a little more dark and grungy. I really like this green shimmer right here. This gold is really pretty. This blue matte I kind of like. So I like pulling this one out when I want to do just kind of your grungy looks. And then the designer princess one. This one is basically your, soft kind of peachy tones. I'm kind of trying to hold it at an angle because this gold foil is kind of reflecting off of my ring light. But, it's a basic, pretty palette. I don't use this one as much as the villains, but if you guys know me, I am a Disney collector, which is the main reason why I got these. There's a third one called the Midnight Masquerade. I eventually want to get that palette. I just haven't had a chance to yet, and with everything going on in the world, I'm not going to be getting it, anytime soon. Next are my Milani palettes. I only have two. These were the Salt and Pepper collaboration palettes. You have Very Necessary and Cool, Hot, Cool, and Vicious. Out of these two palettes, my favorite is the Very Necessary palette. This one has this just really beautiful, gorgeous shimmers in here. This green right here, this pink, and this blue. Oh my god, absolutely beautiful. So I get more use out of this palette than I do the other one, and the main reason is because this one is just kind of your basic neutral toned palette. I have these shades and a bunch of other palettes that I have. The main reason why I got them is because they're, just for collectible reasons. If I had another shelf, they'd be back there with those. I'm going to pull those down too and talk about those towards the end of the video, but that's really the only reason why I got these. I have two palettes from Too Faced. I have the Sweet Peach, and this is a Hot Chocolate Gold. When I first got into makeup, which was about a year ago, the very first kind of higher end palette that I bought was the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar, and this one was the second palette that I got. I've used this maybe 3 or 4 times. It is a beautiful peachy color story. Smells good. The only issue with this one is that the pigment is like hardly there. I have to build up a lot when I use this one, so I haven't really pulled it back out because I've gotten more eyeshadow palettes in my collection that I actually like better than this. And then this one is the Hot Chocolate. This one is basically, other than a few kind of a matte setting type shades, this is pretty much an all shimmer palette. I've only used this shade right here, which is called Money Bags, and then Chocolate Gold, which is this one right here. Those are literally the only shades I've used out of here, and I've only used this palette maybe twice. So if I do get to the point where I need to declutter, I know these two will probably be the first ones to go. And then, there are issues with Too Faced. If you guys have been kind of following everything, then you already know. I have 3 palettes from Juvia's Place. This one is the Nubian and Coral palette. This one reminds me a lot of the Yes Please palette, except there's like a little more, the shades in here are a little more brown tone. The one thing you will notice about Juvia's Place is the shadows don't really have names. I'm sorry, do these other ones do? Yes, the shadows don't really have names in them. So this is a really pretty kind of everyday coral look too that I absolutely love. And one thing I like about this one is that you can do coral looks, but then you can also just do a straight kind of a gray grungy look, and it looks absolutely beautiful. This is one of my favorite neutral kind of palettes I have in my collection. My other 2 Juvia's Place palettes are the Warrior 3 and the Zulu. These 2 are kind of sister palettes. The basically rainbow palettes, and the color stories are just absolutely beautiful. This one, which is Warrior 3, this is newer to my collection. I've only had a chance to use this one a couple of times, but I absolutely love this rainbow theme. The only thing about this palette is the purple, and I'm going to show you. The purple in this palette just does not blend well. You see how patchy that is? You have to kind of take the brush and then like pack it onto the eye, because if I try to put it on and then blend it out, it just does not blend out well at all. And this is the Zulu palette. I consider this one to be a sister palette to the Warrior 3 palette because of that really pretty rainbow theme. The green and the blue shimmers in here are absolutely gorgeous. The only issue I have with this palette is the exact same issue that I have with the Warrior, and that is the purple. I have noticed across the board that the purple seems to be the one shade that everybody has trouble with. I've seen other YouTubers and other people that have Juvia's Place palettes talk about the same thing. The purple shade, they just don't seem to be very good. My hand is kind of stained purple there from the purple in that Juvia's Place Zulu palette, but let's move on. The rest of these only have like one of each, or they're like influencer collaboration type palettes or something like that. This one is the Smoky Glow X Midas palette. I absolutely love this one. I did a review on this one. I'll drop it down in the description box. I also did a review of the Salt and Pepper Milani palettes. I'll drop that one down there too, in case you want to check that one out. But this is one of my favorite palettes in my collection. This is my color story. These pinks, these purples, this shade right here, which is called Leno. This is an absolutely gorgeous purple shimmer. It has the most gorgeous shift to it. I absolutely love this palette, and this shade right here, just gorgeous. Oh, it's really coming down outside. This is the mini fun size palette from Sugar Pill. It's just a really cute little pastel-y theme palette. I haven't had a chance to play with this much, but now that we're getting into the spring and the summer months, I might pull this one out more just to do some kind of a soft, colorful kind of pastel looks. Sugar Pill launched 2 more palettes in their capsule collection. There's a pink one and then an orange one. The one that's in the orange packaging, I want so bad, but right now I'm trying to be a little more conservative and not really, buy a whole lot of things. I've only bought like maybe a few things since everything started happening, so I'm trying to be good about that. This is the Rupaul Mally collaboration palette, the Palette. Mally is a makeup artist that's pretty much exclusive to QVC. She has her own website, but most of her stuff you can only get on QVC. I was very excited when I first saw that this was coming out because, I'm a fan of Rupaul. It's a drag queen, and I figure if Rupaul is going to launch a palette, this is going to be this beautiful, vibrant, just awesome formulas and color story, and y'all, this is so boring. I got this, and then there's not much payoff or pigment to this color story. I was quite disappointed because I was expecting a little bit more. I don't know if that's the way Molly's shadows are, or Mally, I may be saying her name wrong, but I was pretty disappointed in this palette. If I were to ever do a declutter and need to make room to get rid of some stuff, this palette would probably be going along with those 2 palettes from Too Faced. Next, we have the Mini James Charles Artistry palette. This one I literally just got. I think it came like 3 days ago. I wasn't planning on getting this palette, but Ulta was having a sale and it was half off, so it was only $13. And I figured, even if I end up not liking it, my daughter, she's 15, she wants to be a makeup artist and cosmetology and do hair and all that stuff. She would have a lot of fun playing around with this. So even if I end up not liking it, she'll have fun with it. It'll get used either way. This one is the Naked Cherry palette from Urban Decay. It's the only Urban Decay palette that I currently have. My husband got this one for me. We were walking around Ulta and he got so excited because he saw this palette was on sale. So he picked it up for me. It is an absolutely beautiful pinky color story. I absolutely love this one. I don't know if all the Urban Decay formulas are like this one, but the formula in this one is absolutely beautiful. One day, when things kind of settle down, I might go ahead and grab, a few more of these palettes. I do have the Born to Run palette on the way. I ordered that one from QVC, but there's a specific reason why I picked that one up, and you'll find out in a video sometime in the future. 4 more palettes left in this stack, and then I'm going to pull the collectible ones off the wall so we can kind of talk about those. This one is the Beauty Creations Tease Me palette. This one came as part of a Secret Santa gift from a friend, and I absolutely love this one. This is just your kind of has a pinky brown, kind of a taupey neutral color story. I absolutely love this one. This particular formula is absolutely beautiful, and I love the shimmers and everything. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of course, is the pressed glitter, which is right here, but everything else is absolutely gorgeous. This palette is in the Color Workshop. It's called Exposed. This one came from Five Below. The formula in this palette is pretty bad. It's very powdery, very chalky. I really don't use this one at all, but this one was a gift from my daughter a couple of Christmases ago, and she was very, very excited to give this to me. So I don't care if everything in here turns to dust. This palette is never, ever, ever going to leave my collection. This one is the Gay Bestie palette. This is one of the newest ones to my collection. This one was from JC Camarillo, who is he's a smaller beauty blogger. This was his baby. I did a video reviewing this one too. I'll go ahead and I'll drop that one down, in the description box so you can check that one out. This one plays a little message when you open it, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it up so you can hear it real quick.
Hey Brad, you're gonna slay this look. Today is your day, so everything and anything you do is gonna be amazing.
It's a really, really cute message, and you can get the version that doesn't talk too in case, the sounds, are an issue for you or anything. But it's a beautiful color story. Absolutely love the shimmers in this palette, this gold right here. Absolutely to die for. Look at that. It's just so shiny and just metallic. I absolutely love this particular palette. This is the Tati Beauty palette. This is from Tati Westbrook. She's kind of a larger influencer on YouTube, and this was the first palette that she launched. This came out last year. I absolutely love this matte row down here in the bottom, and the metallic row, which is right here. The sequin row, which is the third one, it's okay. I'm not really a big fan of that. And then the top row is pressed glitters. You guys know how I feel about pressed glitters, but I really do love the ones in this palette. If I do use a pressed glitter, I'll usually pull this one out because these are pressed in such a way that you don't have to put down a glitter glue or glitter adhesive first before you put these on. You can just take these, press them down on your eyelids and they stay exactly where you want them to go. All right, friends, last stack. These are the genre collectible palettes, the ones that were on the shelves behind me. These are based on TV shows, movies, Disney characters, superheroes, and stuff like that. If I look different, hair, makeup, clothes, everything, that's because it is a different day. Yesterday, Saturday, when I was filming the first part of this video, it was storming outside and I had to dump my SD card. When I came back to try to finish the video, the lighting was just all off and I could not get it to look right, so I thought it'd be best just to go on ahead and shoot the next segment or the last segment the next day. You know, no rush. You got nothing but time here. I'm not in the time crunch or anything like that, but let's go ahead and get started. This is the Supernatural Join the Hunt, the Eternal War eyeshadow palette. I absolutely love this palette. I love Supernatural. I'm a huge fan of the Winchesters. Anybody that knows me knows this. I got this palette from Hot Topic. They have another palette, but that one I didn't really like as much, but I love this one because it kind of looks like a hunter's journal, kind of like a book. I absolutely love this one. Let me show you guys something. This is my want-it poster. I've been to about maybe 3 or 4 cons at this point in Nashville, Tennessee. I go every year and I just add autographs to my poster. I've pretty much gotten almost all the cast. There are a few that I'm still working on. This middle section is for Jeffree Dean Morgan. He's the one, he plays John Winchester, and right now he's on The Walking Dead. I can't remember the character. Negan. He plays Negan on The Walking Dead right now. Just brain whoop for a second there. But I was supposed to go back this year. In April, they were supposed to be doing one, and I was going to add DJ Qualls and Jim Beaver, but things being what they are, the con got postponed. I don't know if they're going to do it at all this year at all. It may not get done until next year, but, you know, looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and get back to the palette. It opens up like this. Hold on, let me take this little sticky stuff. I like to keep the plastic on there just to kind of keep the palette in good condition as much as I can. This side, it's kind of pastel. This one is based on the angels. It's kind of like your good side, of course. You know, if you're a Supernatural fan, you know good and evil is very subjective on the series. And this side is based on the more evil side and the demons and stuff like that. I have played around with this palette, put together a decent amount of looks. The eyeshadows, the mattes, and the shimmers in this palette are actually really nice. Let me go ahead and swatch some. I'm going to swatch some of the shimmers down here and some over here just so you can kind of see. They're really, really pretty. For a Hot Topic palette, these are actually pretty nice. But those are the shimmers, 2 of the shimmers on the demon side. They're not swatching as well as I was hoping they would, but on the eye they look absolutely beautiful. I'm going to swatch Idjit and The Darkness, which is the gold shade and the black shade on the evil side. Hold on. There we go. Okay. It's kind of pretty. On this side, I'll swatch Angel, Saving People, and Family Business. It's really pretty kind of pastels. Let's put those here. That one, and that one. Isn't that pretty? Like for like a little, how much I paid? I think I paid $14 for this at Hot Topic. These shadows are just absolutely beautiful. I mean, I just love the way that they perform on the eyelid. They're just absolutely gorgeous. This is a Disney Mulan Warrior Reflection palette. Mulan is my absolute favorite Disney princess. I love her so, so much. When I saw that Hot Topic, this is also a Hot Topic palette, when they had this one, I had to snatch it up. My husband actually got this for me as a gift. I love the gold dragon, the guardian dragon on the front. You have Cricky right here. This is a trifold palette, so it opens this way. My lighting may kind of go out a little bit, but we're working on it here. In the inside, they have this little brush, and it looks like an ink brush for like calligraphy and stuff like that. I never use it. I just keep it in here as part of the collection. The shimmers in here, just like the Supernatural palette, they're absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to go ahead and swatch this one, this one, this one, and this one. Maybe even that one. Like I said, we have nothing but time. All right, these are from the first half of that palette, where it's more of a kind of a bronzy, kind of a gold side. Very, very, very pretty. On this side, I'm going to swatch Great Warrior Dragon, Lucky Cricket, and Bravery. I'm still learning how to do swatches, so they look like crap. Just bear with me. See, so pretty. I have done so many looks with this palette, and I think this one was, I got it on sale for like $13. I mean, just absolutely just awesome palette. Awesome deal. This is the last palette that I got from Hot Topic. This is the Moana Heart of Tafiti palette. I love the artwork on the front, but I absolutely hate the formula. The Supernatural palette and the Mulan palette, gorgeous formula. This one, y'all, they did my girl wrong. The color story is pretty. I absolutely love how the Heart of Defeaty, the big green one in the middle, looks like the Heart of Defeaty stone. You look at it, it's pretty. Man, these shadows are awful. Even the darker ones that look like they're dark. Let me go and swatch those real quick and you'll see what I mean. They're just powdery, dusty, just absolutely no pigment. They did my girl so wrong. Let me go ahead and swatch a couple of these shimmers. And there really isn't even really any shimmers in here. Let's do this one and then maybe this one, which are supposed to be like shimmers. I mean, look at that. Nothing, just dust. Ooh, Manny MUA did a video. It was really cute where he reviewed this palette. Same thing that I thought. You did my princess wrong. This was a crap palette formula wise, but I love the artwork. It looks pretty on my shelf, so of course I'm going to keep it. It's not going anywhere. Next, we had the Sailor Moon Pretty Guardian palette. This was part of a ColourPop collaboration. I had ordered the entire collection, but you guys know the story about that. I'll drop the review down in my description box with the palette. The whole thing sold out while it was in my shopping cart. Oh, I was not happy about that at all. But this color story, it is so absolutely beautiful. It is different than like any of the other ColourPop. And like I said earlier in the video, you know, they tend to repeat shades. So to see something different, it's really, really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch just a few of these just so you can see. This one, which is is that Luna? Maybe I should use the right finger. This one, which is Luna, that is my absolute favorite shade in the whole palette. It's so iridescent and just has this beautiful shift. Oh my god, the shimmers in this palette, they're just so beautiful. I'm going to swatch these three right here. These are kind of like satin mattes that have just a little bit of shimmer in them. Oh, so pretty. There, there, and there. Oh my god. Wait, there. I can hold on. Let me try that yellow one again. I kind of mixed it in with the other shade. I'm still learning how to do live swatching. There. Just absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love this palette, and hopefully once everything starts to go back to normal and ColourPop can start shipping again, they'll be able to restock the collection because I'm still hoping to get it. Two more palettes left. This one is the NYX Professional Makeup. This was the collaboration with the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. I absolutely love that series. So when I saw this one, I definitely had to grab it. I love the fact that it's made to look like a spell book. That's why it's called Spell Book. It is absolutely freaking awesome. On this side, it looks like the page of a spell book. And on this side, beautiful shadows. This one is a full face palette. So you have eyeshadows up here, and then you have two blushes, and you have a highlighter. Do I want to swatch anything on this palette? I think I'm going to swatch Ambrose over here, and then Frog Legs. I absolutely love this green, and then Devil's Work, which is kind of an orangey shade. There, there, and there. This was my first time ever using NYX eyeshadows, and I absolutely love this palette. It's just so beautiful. You can do all kinds of looks with this one. I'll admit I have not pulled this one out since I did my look when I was reviewing it, but oh my god, I have got to play with it some more. If you guys want to see some looks with this palette, let me know. I would love to pull this back out and play with it some more. Last palette, this is the Black Widow Marvel collaboration palette. This is in collaboration with Ulta. There was a whole collection. There's also a face palette. I got that too. I didn't get anything else in the collection because those two pieces were the only thing that I was interested in. When I did my review, I'll drop that down in the description box too if you guys kind of want to take a look at that. I had a hard time working with these, but I'm working on a 2 looks 1 palette. This is look 1 from that video, and I didn't use my Juvia's Paste concealer this time. I didn't have anything on my eyelids. I actually forgot to prime my eyelids, and these shadows work so much better. So maybe it was just the concealer that was causing the issue. Infiltrate, Relentless, and Fiery. Let's go ahead and swatch those. And they're so much creamier today too. I don't know if there was like maybe a layer when I was shooting the video that needed to come off, but they're creamier and just so much smoother now. as well. Look at this one. This is the Infiltrate shade. I used that one in my review video and it just went on so patchy. It didn't translate to the eyelid the same way, and maybe that was concealer, maybe not. I don't know, but right now they're actually translating pretty well. They're swatching really, really well. I'm actually very surprised by that. And that is every eyeshadow palette that I currently have in my collection. If you saw any palettes throughout the video that interested you and you'd like to see me do some looks with, please drop it down in the description box. Let me know. I would love to pull out some of these palettes and play with them again. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you joined a little family and hit the subscription button. Also, make sure you tap the notification bell so you'll be notified of any videos coming in the future. Be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.